What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 77 of the Stand Up Guys podcast. I'm your host, the incomparable Zach Jones, joined as always by the Amphers to my Evamon, Lester Jones.
Man, maybe you need to rethink the opening here.
Hey, if anybody out there knows some good brother names, let me know, because we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Now, luckily, back from his terrible ass-eating accident, we got none other than the Ninth Wonder, Chocolate Thunder, living in sin and pushing that shit in.
Man.
The juicy pussy. Oh, man, I can't do this one. Cut.
Zach's been drinking before the show.
The Ninth Wonder, Chocolate Thunder, living in sin and pushing that shit in. The pussy juice sipping, just the tipping, passing out dick like bullets from John Wick. The phenomenal A.J. Singh.
Hello, everyone. Good to be back.
How was the COVID?
Oh, it was wonderful. It sucked, man. It wasn't that bad. I didn't really feel that sick or anything, but it just, you have to isolate, and the whole process of that was just not great.
So, kind of cutting in a little early, but I have a couple COVID-related stories. So,
Okay.
A man claims to have lost 1.5 inches off his dick due to COVID. So you just had COVID. What's left?
I got his 1.5 inches.
Now everybody's going to want COVID.
He's like, now I only have 9 inches.
That seems like the thing when you lose weight. Like every time someone loses weight, someone else gains weight.
Yeah, that's kind of happening right now. Rumman's gaining it.
She's gaining. Okay.
Yeah.
It's better to be on the losing end.
Yeah.
That's probably like the Twinkies you don't eat. Some motherfuckers like, yeah, Twinkie time.
Yeah, I'm gaining now, too, because my stupid elliptical broke on me.
Oh.
I'm not having good luck with exercise equipment. You guys do anything else this week?
Man, today was a crazy, weird day. Like, we went to the furniture store because my mom wanted to cancel one of her items. And we have like $10,000 worth of furniture coming in like in the next month or so.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but this guy was like super rude. Like, he was so short and curt, and it was like, is this like a prank show or something? And we were just like, man, what is going on? And eventually we were just like, he was like, do you want to talk to my manager? I can be my manager. And it almost seemed like his manager would be like him, like it sounds like you guys are a team. But then his manager came over, he was like super helpful and helped us do the return and everything, and he was like, yeah, I'll talk to him. I'd never understood what the guy's thinking was. I don't know why he was being that way.
Yeah, some people are not like suited for the service industry.
Yeah.
It wasn't his commission.
I mean, part of it's like Portland, maybe it's the weather or something, like, I don't know. I can't explain why people are so aggressive sometimes. But yeah, that's my story of the week. Oh, and I went to Chicago. I guess I could tell you about that.
Yeah, I was wondering about that as well.
Yeah. So first things first, I missed my first flight to Chicago because my ID was left at home, so I had to come back.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that story.
Yeah, I had to reschedule it, so bonehead move on my part. Then I go the next day, and this guy's like kind of coughing next to me on the flight. And I'm like, oh, God, I hope he doesn't have COVID. And, I get to Chicago, and I seem okay for the first few days. I do feel a bit of a runny nose. Right around the time we went to the Field Museum, which is a massive museum in Chicago where there's thousands of people cramped into a tiny space. So it could have been there that I contracted COVID. But after that, I was like, I don't feel right. I got tested. I got isolated. So the vacation was pretty much over. I just had to like isolate myself downstairs. And then other people, like my mom, she ended up having it. My sister might have. I'm not sure about her, actually. I don't think she tested positive. But, I'm not sure who got sick and all. But from us, yeah, it kind of spread pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, an airplane, like, even if you're wearing your mask, like, it's people in such a confined area breathing all the same air. Like, it's hard not to get it if somebody has it.
Yeah, I think it's very likely that if somebody has it on the plane, other people are going to get it. But yeah, it sucked. And then, we wanted to go to this really famous place called Portillo's. I'm sure people have heard of it.
Oh yeah, it's like a hot dog place.
Yeah. We were just on our way, and I tested right before we left the house. Tested positive, so we didn't get to go. But otherwise, it was an all right trip.
I would have at least done like a DoorDash type of thing. Had somebody that wasn't sick answer the door.
Well, I mean, I don't. Chicago it's not what I remembered it being. Like, I don't know if it's gotten changed in the last like 15 years or 20 years. It probably has.
I mean, I assume probably.
Yeah, it's not like it used to be. I used to like it more. Now it's not as fun to be.
You didn't exactly pick a great time of the year to go there.
That's true. Winter in Chicago, yeah.
Was it pretty cold there?
Oh, it was freezing. Yeah.
Was there snow?
There was snow, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there was a lot of snow. The kids got to play in it. They enjoyed it.
Anything else story-wise, guys?
What? I told my shitty man story last week.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Pretty quiet week, I think.
All right, let's get into what you guys been playing or watching.
Playing and watching. You go first, Lester, I gotta think.
Yeah, I mean, with the kids out, I've almost finished Far Cry 6. I'm on the edge. But
yeah, you've put some hours into that game, I gotta say.
Mostly I watched some Trailer Park Boys. I watched this Russian movie called Come and See, and that is like a fucked up story of like Germany invading like this part of Russia where there's all these little villages filled with Jewish people. Oh, it's pretty devastating.
I've never heard of this. Like, was it on Netflix or something?
I found it on YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. Like, is it a documentary or is it like a acting?
No, it's acted. It's based on a true story, but I guess it was like over 600 villages, like where they just killed everybody. Yeah, it's crazy, and it's all about like the horrors of war. But yeah, it's a tough watch, but it was really good. So
what's it called? Come and See.
Come and See.
What about you?
I mean, mostly I just been watching comic book stuff on YouTube, but I did watch. I keep up with Ghosts, that show that I've been watching.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so it's still the same. It hasn't gotten better, but it hasn't gotten worse. I can watch it. It's not bad.
All right.
We don't have Disney right now, but I would watch Boba Fett probably.
I think we do still have Disney for a little bit.
Oh, it isn't? Maybe I'll check it out.
But you won't be able to
I'll have to
finish
watch
it
them
before
all
it
like
runs
in a
out.
day.
Well, they're not. They're still coming out because it's weekly.
I see.
All right, so spoiler a little bit about Boba Fett. If you haven't seen any of it, is when he comes out like the same way Patton Oswalt had like written it like years ago. He says like he comes out of the sand. Is that what happens? Like he comes out of the sand. He kind of like
that's right. He gets fed to that big thing.
Yeah, so it cuts to him like coming out of there, and then like
I haven't watched it yet, but I think that is what happens. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw a clip where Patton Oswalt. I think he's one of the writers on the show. But he had talked about that exact scene like years earlier. Like, cut to this. Probably is on Parks and Recreation.
I do remember that. I think, well, they probably are multiple writers, but I think Jon Favreau wrote quite a bit of it, and he, is like the showrunner or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I will eventually. I enjoyed the Mandalorian, so.
Yeah, I've heard some people complaining that like Disney doesn't have anything that's R-rated, so it's a little bit hampered maybe sometimes.
Yeah, that is one thing. Like, I mean, they have a lot of great properties, but sometimes you do feel like a little more variety. At least HBO, you get things that run the gamut between family friendly and R-rated stuff. Whereas, Disney, you're just locked into like, PG-13's the most edgy you're gonna.
Well, yeah, and I mean, even when they took on Marvel, They've been careful to keep like the Disney brand and the Marvel brand a little bit separate. So I mean, Marvel is more edgy than just like kid Disney, but
still, most kids can watch it.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're going to do when Deadpool starts coming out on their services, right?
Well, I think Deadpool, because Disney also owns like a large amount of Hulu, so I think they just kind of dump their R-rated
stuff
properties on there.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. They want to keep it separated and keep their...
In fact, I think the Deadpool movies might be on Hulu.
Because they probably want anything on like the actual Disney platform to be kid friendly. So
yeah, exactly.
you don't have to worry about your kids going on there and watching something crazy.
Yeah.
Too crazy.
Yeah, I think that's
Hawkeye.
Or Hawkeye. Yeah.
Kids should not be watching Hawkeye.
Nobody should be watching Hawkeye.
Man. You know what, though? I'm in the minority. It seems like, well, maybe we all are, but it seems like most people enjoyed Hawkeye. I mean, just, I don't know.
It might just be like a Marvel thing, like, you know, just still continuing the whole Marvel story, like, you know, a piece of it being Hawkeye. Like, maybe they just enjoy, like, that being a part of the whole tapestry of what Marvel's doing.
Yeah, some people like all of it. So.
Yeah.
Hey, have you watched Eternals yet?
No, it just came out on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
what I was
watch it
wondering.
tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was curious what your opinion on it will be.
Okay, yeah. What did you guys think?
He didn't watch it. I watched it when it came into theaters, and, like, I enjoyed it.
Okay. I got kind of, like, turned off from watching in the theater just because so many people were saying bad things about it.
It's not bad. It does have, like, one thing that kind of makes you scratch your head, but, like, overall, I enjoyed it. It definitely does have a different feel, I think, than a lot of Marvel movies. Mm-hmm. But still, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm curious what you end up thinking about it.
Okay. Yeah.
It is like a lot of characters to try to balance in one movie, but I think they do a fairly good job.
Okay.
Let's see, what have I been watching this? Well, first of all, I started a new game, Control, which is a game that's, you know, a couple years old, but it was on sale, so I gave it a shot.
Haven't heard of it yet.
It's hard to explain. So basically, there's this place called like the Bureau of Control, which is like this secret, you know, government bureau that like deals with all the paranormal shit, you know, and like they're in this building that like is people have like a hard time even finding it because it's like, I don't know, it has like properties that. At one point, like somebody mentions, oh, you really only find it if you know about it and you're actually looking for it or something. Anyway, like your character like finds this building, right? And like she has like some sort of mystery going on where she seems to have like this entity like in her head or something, you know? But like she goes in there and like you find out that the building's been taken over by like all these like, you know, paranormal creatures that is what you end up fighting. They're the enemies in the game. But it's weird because like the building like is constantly like changing, and like so like you'll be in the same area more than once, but like, you know, maybe there was a doorway here that's not here anymore, or maybe now there's a doorway there that wasn't there before, and like things just kind of like weirdly change. The paintings on the walls will change and things like that. It's interesting. The only thing about it, I have run across some things that, though, I find kind of annoying. Like, for one, like, there's only certain spots where you can, like, where it saves your game at what they call control points. Like, basically, you'll heal an area of the building, and then that becomes, like, a fast travel and save spot. But then when you go from there on, like, a new, like, mission or whatever, like, if you die, it's going to send you back there. So you might end up, and you die a lot because, you know, it is kind of hard. Well, maybe I just suck. I don't know. I've been dying a lot. But then that means you might have to, like, you know, walk down the same 3 hallways and up, you know, 2 flights of stairs, like, you know, multiple times every time you die or whatever, instead of just starting at the room where you died at. So that can become a little bit annoying. But it's an interesting game. I'll definitely want to finish it out, but, yeah, but it's got like some cool things. Like you get this gun that like kind of changes shape. So it can be like almost like, you know, I haven't even unlocked all the things it can do, but like, right now it can act as like a regular pistol, or it can like change shape a little bit and be more like a shotgun. And then, like, she's also got, like, telekinesis powers where she can just, like, pick up things and throw them at people and things like that, too. So it's an interesting game. I'll definitely play it some more. As far as what I've been watching, I'll be honest, mostly I've just been doing my rewatch of Everybody's Loves Raymond still. Great show. HBO, they have a lot of those animated, like, straight to streaming and DVD, like DC animated things. And they had like a Justice Society. I think it was called Justice Society World War II, which is exactly what it sounds like. It takes place during World War II and has the Justice Society characters in it. It was fine. For me, it was one of those things that had just a little bit too much action in it. And it made me feel a little sleepy. Not enough dialogue, a little too much action. And then lastly, I started season 6, the final season of The Expanse. And I think there's only one more episode of that to go as well. I got to say, so far, really, really good. I hope it sticks the landing. But, yeah. Anyone who hasn't watched The Expanse, I recommend it. Like, the first season...
That's on Amazon?
Yeah. The first season, for some people, it might be a little bit slow. And it's definitely the weakest of the seasons. But as you get going, it really does become like Game of Thrones in space. And it's... I'm really liking it. Hopefully it ends better than Game of Thrones. But, yeah, I'm really digging it.
More sister fucking.
All right, guys, should we get into the show?
Sure.
So anybody who hasn't watched, we're just going to go around and bring some topics of conversation to the table, weird news stories and the like. And AJ, we usually start with you. So what do you got for us this week?
All right, I got a bunch of different topics, so we'll just kind of go through them like 3 or 4 at a time, I think.
Wow, that many?
Yeah, I have a lot. Some are good, some are just kind of, I don't know, they're in there. So let's see. All right, the first one is from Milwaukee's alternative news source. It is basically a list of like what's happened this week, what crazy news has happened this week.
Okay.
All right. In what one police officer called a real-life Lassie situation, a 1-year-old Shiloh Shepherd named Tinsley is being hailed as a hero for saving her owner and another person after a car crash on I-89 in Vermont. WMUR TV reported that Cam Laundrie and his passenger had been ejected from his truck, hit a guardrail, and went off the road on January 3rd. When state troopers in a Lebanon, New Hampshire police officer found Tinsley on the side of the road, she evaded capture and led them to the scene of the accident. We were shaken up, didn't know what was happening, Laundrie said. Next thing we know, the cops were there, and it was all because of her. Tinsley's reward, a venison burger. Follow-up, Laundrie has a February court date for driving under the influence. At least Tinsley was sober.
What's that girl? Timmy's drunk driving?
No, she brought the cops. Oh, no. You traitor. All right, anger management. This is the next one. Tennessee State Representative Jeremy Faison, 45, had to be ejected from the stands at a high school basketball game in Johnson City on January 4th after he became angry at a referee and tried to pants him, pulling down his trousers. Faison's son was playing at the Lakeway Christian Academy team.
Of course.
The Associated Press reported. Later, Faison tweeted, "Totally lost my junk and got booted from the gym. I hope to be able to find the ref and ask for his forgiveness." I think he was trying to find junk somewhere.
It's those stories happen all the time, though.
Yeah.
Where, like, a parent will get like upset because their kid's not playing or not playing enough or to their liking or whatever. And sometimes it's like resulted in like real violence, like fist fights and stuff. This guy at least was just pantsing, I guess.
I don't know. Like, so somebody...
Did you say attempted pantsing?
Yeah, he attempted to pants him.
Yeah, how does he sleep at night?
Attempt to distribute dick and balls.
He said, "I was bad, wrong. Our advice to referees everywhere, always wear a belt." Well, all right. Don't get pants, guys. But I mean... There seems to be a lot of crazy dads. You're right about that. Like, you hear about fights at hockey games and baseball games.
I think there has even been like moms that get fucking crazy like from that shit.
Like, so I saw on TikTok somebody explained that some older generation people, a lot of them suffered from like fetal alcohol syndrome and other diseases that hurt their frontal lobe, so they don't really have that, like, thinking of, should I do this? Am I overreacting or this and that? They're just kind of like
really impulsive.
Yeah. But I don't know if that's true. It's TikTok, so.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of people that just have that personality type. You don't think of things like that, but maybe a lot of it is like syndromes like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, some people are just like maniacs.
So in Hinduism, there's like a term called Kaljog, which means the dark times. And like basically what they say is that there were 4 different time frames, and the good times were at the beginning for humanity. They were the best times. And then after that, each time was worse and worse, and they're saying that now we're in the dark times. And I don't know.
Course.
I could like I'm sure every generation, I'm sure thousands of years ago people thought that. But man, there's so many people on this earth that you can't escape like the negativity that people bring anymore. It's everywhere.
Well, social media brings it to them.
Yeah, it's definitely at the forefront. All right, conniving cats. Seoul, South Korea's Metropolitan Fire Disaster Headquarters is warning citizens your cats may burn down your house. According to the agency, more than 100 fires over the past 3 years have been started by cats. We advise pet owners to pay extra attention as fire could spread widely when no one is at home, which he recommends, Chung Gyo Chol recommends keeping proper paper towels and other flammable items away from cooking appliances. So I guess that's what's happening. But
Was he cooking the cat?
oh no!
It did say Korea, did.
Oh no! I'm no part of this. But
He's
man,
like, always kill it first.
but just another reason not to get a cat right there.
Yeah.
Dogs,
Yeah.
man, dogs all the way. All right. I got one more here. Signs of the apocalypse. In Texarkana, on the border of Texas and Arkansas, December 30th brought a new phenomenon, fish falling from the sky. KXXV-TV reported that people found fish on their sidewalks and lawns, but city officials have an explanation. Animal rain occurs when small water animals are swept up in water spouts or drafts. 2021 is pulling out all the tricks, the city posted on Facebook. While it's uncommon, it happens, and please, for the sake of everyone, let's tiptoe into 2022 as quietly as possible. I ain't flying fish. Never heard of that. That's interesting.
Actually, the first season of that Fargo show, like I don't remember how it happens. Like maybe like a semi gets caught in a storm or something, but something similar happens to that where fish start like falling from the sky.
It's wild.
And like there's a religious guy that thinks it's like a sign.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you think if that happened. You'd have to. You'd probably have some questions.
I would be like, is this a gift from God? Like, is he trying to feed people or something?
Free fish.
All right, are we on the manifesto round 1?
DNA test proved milkman fathered over 800 children in California.
Ooh.
He really was the milkman.
He started all those stories about milkmen.
So, like, is it because he got tested like a ancestry thing or something? Or
Something. I guess it all links back to him.
dang.
I want to know how many STDs that milkman had.
Yeah.
I mean, 23andMe or whatever, like, that means 800 people, if that's the case, like, signed up, and that's how many got caught on there, but otherwise it might be more, right?
Yeah, who knows, man?
800 kids.
It says like through the 50s and 60s, so probably he's like a grandpa age, and like a lot of the grandkids are popping up.
Yeah.
And so this was supposedly like none of it from like him donating sperm like to a bank. It was all like
Old fashioned.
Well, they said he was like he's a good-looking guy, and just like just talking, making these relationships all over the place. There are people like in Korean War and shit like this, and like just
Oh, yeah. Jody.
and he was just dumping clips, huh?
I guess so. Just like you'd think you'd have to be like out there taking care of some pretty serious business.
He was doing America's work while the soldiers were away. He had to take care of things.
Repopulating.
Yeah. Dang, man.
Now we know why all the milkmen went away.
Yeah.
Pissed off husbands.
I think that happens a lot to military guys. Like, it's called Jody, right? Like, when their woman cheats on somebody, they call that guy, like, Jody.
Oh, I haven't heard that, but maybe.
Yeah. Man. You know, Lester.
I mean, I know a lot of people like they have those failed like long distance relationships in the army.
Yeah. You had a guy who had a crazy relationship with like some old woman.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
We might have talked about.
I'm
it.
guessing that didn't work out.
Yeah.
That guy. Whew. I hate to think of what his career in the women department has been.
Oh.
That was like his out of the gate. Oh,
He likes experience.
Maybe he just had to get rid of that V card. You know, that was most.
that might have been part of it, man. But like,
Look, you've seen who I've dated. Like I've had slumps. I'll be like, I need to.
what do they call that, slump buster?
Yeah.
Have you looked into being a milkman?
You got DoorDash today. You got to start cultivating those relationships.
DoorDash, you get paid for every delivery. You got to get out there and make those deliveries.
Yeah.
Milkman was taking his time.
Well, unfortunately, you don't see like the same people like every day,
Yeah, that's true too.
so
yeah.
you can't. It's hard to build that relationship.
Yeah, everybody else on that guy's route was like, man, my milk's always late.
Yeah.
Jeez, where is this guy? It's 9 o'clock over here.
A terrible milkman.
It's all warm. All right, let's see what we got. I actually have an update on a story AJ told us a couple weeks ago. Remember the lady that was selling her farts in a jar for big bucks?
Right.
Adult content creator selling her farts in a jar hospitalized for farting too much. You really can buy literally anything on the internet. Case in point, you're able to purchase a pretty woman's farts in a jar. We really wish we were kidding about that. Stephanie Motto first came into the public eye when she started on the reality TV show 90 Day Fiancé. After that, she decided to take her career in a completely different direction. Since November of 2021, Motto has been spelling her jarred farts over the internet. She first got the idea after a person offered to buy a jar of her intestinal emissions on an adult content site she was active on. Soon enough, her new business started booming and was a lucrative business. It turns out that people are willing to pay absolutely filthy amounts of money for Amato's trap farts. Before her big holiday sale, yes, she had a holiday sale, she was charging $1,000 per jar. Yeah. In just 1 week, she managed to bring in $45,000, she explained on her Instagram. In total, she's so far profited a nice $200,000 from her fart jar business. I honestly could not believe the demand. I think a lot of people have this fetish in secret, Motto told Jam Press. And if this made you wish to get a Motto fart in a jar of your own, first of all, and second, you're too late. Motto's fart jar has unfortunately come to an end. That's because she had to go to the hospital for excessive gastrointestinal discomfort.
Now, she built up like a special diet for this, right?
I think that's what they're getting.
I want to know what the diet is.
I think
I want to go on it.
You are.
I might stop this reading because I think it does go into it. At $1,000 a pop, earning $200,000 means Motto's had to fart 200 times into jars, and that doesn't take into account all the times her wind didn't get trapped quite right. We assume that happened. At her most productive, Motto was filling 97 jars over 2 days. That's a lot of gas to blast out of your ass. As you can probably imagine, normal human bowel function really shouldn't produce that much gas. To cope with the ever-increasing demand of her farts, Motto resorted to extreme measures. She decided to change her diet to one that would promote gas production. Just typing about what she ate makes us feel like having a bowel movement. Quote, I like to get things rolling with some beans, a protein muffin,
oh, yeah,
sometimes even a yogurt, the less sugar, the better, some hard-boiled eggs, the ex-reality TV star detailed on Instagram. While waiting for those farts to develop, I like to read. I'm very smart. I love to read. As her business boomed, Motto started guzzling protein milkshakes. The goal here was to make her farts more pungent because that's apparently a thing that increases demand. Motto's stomach bloating diet was definitely good for her wallet, but you can't say the same about her intestines. Eventually, the consequences of feeding on nothing but beans and protein caught up to her. I remember within 1 day, I had about 3 protein shakes and a huge bowl of black bean soup. I could tell that something was not right that evening when I was lying in bed and I could feel a pressure in my stomach moving upward, she recalled. Soon, Maddo began experience difficulty breathing and started feeling a pinch around her heart. I actually called my friend and asked if they could come over and drive me to the hospital because I was experiencing a heart attack, she said. And to the hospital she went. She didn't tell the doctors about her fart business, but she did detail her diet. The good news is that Maddo wasn't about to have a heart attack. Instead, she was simply experiencing pain from excessive gas buildup. Who would have thought? Unsurprisingly, the doctors weren't on board with her eating habits. I was advised to change my diet and to take a gas suppressant medication, which has effectively ended my business, said Maddo.
So after 200,000, I think I'd be
at least like
I'd ride it out for a while.
Yeah, she could just like not do it quite as much, So after 2 months of raking it in, this means no more selling jarred farts for Maddo. Or that's what you'd think. As she said, she is a smart woman. She never expected to keep passing gas at this rate indefinitely. Quote, I was overdoing it. The diet was never sustainable and there was always an expiration date, Maddo said. Although she can't let it rip like she used to, Maddo hasn't completely given up on the fart business. She's now selling fart jars as NFTs. An NFT, or non-fungible token, is essentially a JPEG picture. The owner's purchase receipt is tied to a blockchain certifying that the picture belongs to them. NFTs have recently been a divisive topic, to say the least. But Maddo has decided to make full use of the technology. Each token sells for about $200, and you can use them to earn physical rewards. You'll be able to redeem 100 tokens for a good old-fashioned fart jar. For 70, you can instead get a pair.
Wait, how many do you need to redeem?
100.
Okay, so each token sells for $200, and you need 100 of those tokens.
Wait, 200 times 100?
So that's 1,000?
20,000?
Or
that can't be right.
it says each
No,
token.
that's 20,000. 200 times 100 is
Each
20,000.
token sells for about $200, and you can use them to earn physical rewards. You'll be able to redeem 100 tokens for a good old-fashioned fart jar. Jeez. For 70, you can instead get a pair of Maddo's used panties. People are also able to cash in 30 tokens for lingerie Maddo's worn, and for 10 tokens, you can get a jar that Maddo has queefed into. Any business is a business, we suppose. Man, why are queefs so devalued? The bottom really fell out of the queef market.
The scent doesn't last. It's not you can't really get up in it as much.
The farts are more rare now. They're limited edition because you can't make them as much.
But are even like fart perverts like satisfied with a NFT? Just a picture of a fart jar?
Only 50 more NFTs and I can get that fart jar I always wanted.
I mean, they should be if it's just an NFT, they should just get like pictures of her taking a full shit or something.
I mean, like, she has an OnlyFans, right? So aren't they seeing her naked and stuff all the time?
I don't know. I didn't mention that in this particular.
Maybe she just filmed herself farting in jars.
Maybe. Huh. That is weird.
Don't buy NFTs, folks.
Yeah, don't. I've heard so many bad things, man.
I just don't understand, like, the appeal of them. Like,
Well, it's just
that people actually think they're worth something is puzzling.
you can take your own money that you have, make an NFT, buy your own NFT with your own money. So now you've jacked up the value to however much money you have, and now people think it's worth that much, and they'll buy it. It's a scam, man.
It's like a fake mania market, and it's just gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
I mean, I could kind of see the value if it was like a video, but just like a still image that like someone could screenshot or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that someday you could be like, "Oh, I have the rights to this. Take it off your website," and you're like, "Oh, okay."
I mean, like if somebody actually produced like a
like it has no value.
If somebody actually produced like, maybe a short film or something and like sold it as an NFT and then you could later like do something with it and maybe actually profit from it. Like that kind of makes sense to me.
I mean, you could have gotten someone to draw you like a copyrighted picture for like a little bit of nothing. But some of the prices on some of this stuff is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, I can understand having like a copyrighted character or something.
Well, and now video games are trying to get into it where, like, you know,
They'll grade them.
yeah, and
It's so like unscientific too. Like they could have any games and they could be in the same condition, but one will get like a 93 rating and the other one will get like a 78 rating. It doesn't matter. There's no consistency about how they grade it. There's no nothing. But it's another one of those things.
well, I don't know if they've actually started doing it, but I think like games are going to start like selling like, oh, your character has this jacket and it's the only digital jacket like that, and they'll
Okay.
pay for shit like that, you know. I don't know. Yeah, it seems ridiculous. Yeah.
Well, another
Don't buy
thing
'em.
that's coming around is this Metaverse, and they're pushing, and like I don't understand it. It sounds like it's just like a game space,
Yeah.
but like maybe they've made like some equivalent of like the real world in this space.
I think there's like different platforms for it. Some are better than others, I think.
But they're like people like paying millions of dollars for virtual real estate in these spaces, and it's just it's retarded.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that. Yeah, that sounds really stupid.
Yeah, it's developing. It's like either I'm stupid or you know, Zuckerberg's stupid. Which if he's getting someone to pay millions of dollars for nothing, it maybe isn't stupid, but
Yeah.
there's something I'm fundamentally not understanding about this.
I don't know how people could get on board so quickly. I think if you have a lot of money, then it's easy to spread it out into different places.
But I mean, there's already like existing game universes. I mean, Minecraft is like an existing universe, right? People can own their own spaces and do their own things in them. Like,
I think the metaverse is going to be like the way they talk about it, it's like you can live a whole life in it. But I don't know what does that mean? Like,
yeah, like what's the point? I mean, it's either a game or it's not a game. And if there's a game, there's probably already better games.
yeah. And if it's not a game, then what is it?
Is it just going to be like advertising everywhere?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is a fun place to be.
And also, like, the only way that you know space that millionaire bought could be of value if there's overall limited space. But they could make infinite space. They just need servers.
Well, that's what it would seem like, and maybe it is limited if it's just like a copy of the world, because it talked about people buying like Mount Rushmore or something like that, like landmarks. I'm just like, it's so weird because someone else can make another game, like you said, like it's infinite, and everybody can have this landmark. It just doesn't make sense.
I mean, I guess if they
I don't know what they're trying to accomplish.
Maybe they think this game is going to really take off, and they just really want to like be a major player in this game. And if that's true, maybe they could like really put advertising into it and make their money back. I have no idea.
But it doesn't seem like they're marketing it as a game or even like necessarily have a product yet. It's like I'm so confused.
I mean, I know they Facebook owns Oculus Quest, the VR units.
Right, so they're trying to make some virtual space.
Yeah.
There's talk like you can visit a place almost. It feels like you're physically there, like, you know, or the experience is like that. So you can go to like Paris or Rome or wherever you want to go, like from your bedroom. But I don't know how that would look exactly.
I mean, I guess it might be kind of interesting, but I don't think I'm gonna be like compelled to stay there. I don't know. I've been in video game spaces that were incredibly beautiful, and some of them didn't look really anything like reality. Like there's some very artistic stuff. But yeah, I guess I don't understand what they're obviously trying to make a big play for this market, but I just don't understand it.
No.
It's not going to be truly cool, though, until they really make a matrix they can plug us into.
So we can be slaves to the computers.
Yeah.
I mean, that and probably like the first one who comes around with a porn version is going to like kick them out of the market.
You know something I've never thought of
Because
is
Facebook's pretty PG, right? They try to censor a lot of shit out.
Not Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter's kind of free game, yeah.
Yeah, today I got shocked by a tweet. I was just scrolling and I saw this like cartoon image of somebody pouring liquor down two hookers' butts into somebody's mouth. And then somebody put the real image of that happening in real life.
Oh,
and
in
it was
the
like,
comments?
you asked for it. And I was like, whoa. And it was all men's. Butts. Yeah, it was bad.
It's like one of those Christmas chandeliers where they pour the wine down the cups, except it's all like assholes.
Oh, yeah.
The last guy drinks it off the cock and balls of the bottom guy. He's like, I'm a genius.
How do you drink your liquor?
You know what I've never thought of, going back to the Matrix thing, is why are there any fat people in the Matrix? Because obviously, like, you know, their bodies outside the Matrix being preserved by the robots are probably all like in like decent shape.
Yeah.
So like,
Like we made a Matrix with all skinny people and we lost entire crops.
well, and like when like, you know, the people that actually know the Matrix is the Matrix, like they can look however the fuck they want, right?
No one's really done that, but you would kind of think so.
Well, they do, because in the like the first movie, like when he's training Neo, like Neo looks like different. You know, his head is all like shaved or whatever in the real world, but in the Matrix, he has like his normal hair. And,
well, he has like his post identity,
and he gets like the trench coat and things like that.
But nobody's like actively like changed their or their what they look like inside, right?
I mean, I think they just kind of change their clothes and their hair and stuff like that. But yeah, I was just wondering, like, there are things about I love the original, you know, Matrix trilogy, but there are things that when you think about it a little too much, you're like, I don't know if that really makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, AJ, we're back to your treasure trove of stories.
Got plenty. All right, this one is called But Why? The Daily Mail reported that Israeli scientists at Ben Gurion University have constructed a fish-operated vehicle, an FOV, a water-filled tank, camera, and computer on wheels, and have trained goldfish drive it. In the beginning of the trials, the fish just drove around randomly, but eventually they were able to guide the vehicle to a food reward by changing the direction they were swimming. The research said the experiment proved that fish can overcome environmental manipulation, and if they one day adapt to live out of water, they'll be able to find food. What? They have too much money, man.
I mean, I don't know if it's totally bullshit, but I always heard that thing about how like goldfish have like really short, you know, memories where they.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, they obviously still have the capacity to go for food. So, I mean, if you tap into that somehow, then they swim towards it, and you're like, oh, he's swimming that way. Let's drive the car that way. And you're like, oh, okay. Good job, fish. You're a genius.
Yeah. I mean, how stupid do we think animals are if we don't think they can do like, oh, this does this, so I can go there? Like that seems like a simple thought process, right?
I mean, that's pretty much what we have built in, I guess.
Yeah.
And even the dumbest ones are still designed to go food.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty much once you figure out how to get to food, that's all you really need.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Next one is called Weird Science. Russian biologist Vera Emelianenko stumbled across a strange phenomenon in the snow along the White Sea coast in the Russian Arctic in December. Bright blue glowing spots were embedded in the snow, Oddity Central reported, and her feet would leave streaks of blue as she walked. Oddity Central is a person? No, it's Vera who's... Okay. Emelianenko collected a sample and examined it under a microscope, where she found tiny aquatic crustaceans called copepods. When she poked them with a needle, they lighted up blue. The creatures normally live up to 100 meters deep in the ocean, but an expert at the Academy of Science in Moscow thinks they might have been caught in a powerful current that swept them ashore into the snow. All right. This one's called Awe. Alfredo Antonio Trujillo was born at 11:45 p.m. on December 31st at Natividad Medical Center in Salinas, California. Just 15 minutes later, at 12 a.m. on January 1st, his sister, Alien Yolanda Trujillo, made her grand entrance, according to NBC Bay Area. Twins born in different years are a rarity, but the chances of being born the chance of that happening is 1 in 2 million. What an amazing way to start the new year, said Dr. Ana Abro Arias. All right.
Now, like, if that happens, do the parents like have to go with that and be like, oh, they have different birthdays, or if they wanted, could they just be like, can you just say they're both born on this day?
Well, it was like December 30th, so you say Merry Christmas birthday, and you give them a shared present. Then like you're good for the year.
Dang, Lester. No. I think it has to be written as 2 different years. Like,
Yeah, I didn't know if like it was like a legal thing where like, oh no, we timed it. This one's this year, this one's this year, or if it's a thing where like, you want to for
Yeah, they probably have different times on their birth certificates.
yeah, different years, different days, different months, everything. Red tape. Valerie and William Beverly tied the knot in 1995 when they were and they went about their lives, Wavy TV reported, raising a family in Newport News, Virginia. But when Valerie went to the DMV to get a new driver's license last spring, she still had her maiden name on her Social Security card. Little digging revealed a crucial oversight. The couple had never filed their marriage license with the state. They even filed taxes jointly. So on December 30th, 26 years to the day after their first wedding, the Beverleys said their vows again, this time with their son as their best man, and this time we're gonna hand take. I don't know what that means, hand take. Yeah, that's kind of lame. Let me see what we got here. All right, we'll go to Lester. I'll find some good stories for the next one.
All right, back to farts. South African pastor farts on people's faces to heal them.
I want to see that. Heal.
I mean, hey, he's giving them up for free, though.
Demon be gone. You just have to get in his congregation.
Can you imagine being so like into religion that you're just like, oh yeah, I can feel it healing me.
So this guy's name is Christ Penelope. But they actually have pictures of him sitting on people's faces. Oh. And he's like full on just like relaxing, sitting on their face. And like, how much is this guy getting off on being a pastor?
I know.
Can you believe just how powerful you feel if you just like bring people up and you just casually sit on their face and just fucking blast all over them? And they're just like, thank you, sir. May I have another? Like, the nuts on this guy.
I really feel like this guy had a bet with like another pastor. And he's like, I bet you I can get him to go along with me farting in their face. And the other guy's like, no, I'll bet you $1,000 they won't.
And he's just like in the back like, motherfucker. Count it out.
I don't. This is amazing. Like, this guy is my hero. How is he able to convince these dummies to do that? I can't convince people to do good things for themselves.
Look how relaxed he is. He's just like he's sitting at a campfire, just having a conversation.
He must be really like
he
charismatic.
He looks like he's been sitting there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That dude is just like passed out with the dude like right on his face.
He's eating a protein muffin.
Oh my God. My God.
I mean,
I've always said I should start a church, but man.
That's a leader, man, right there. He could be a CEO of a company.
Look how he's so confident. He's just like relaxed. He's just like, this is a normal day right here, folks.
I want to see South Park spoof this.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
But you know how they always like, televangelists will have this like things where they go up and they'll be like heal and they'll like push on someone's forehead and they'll like start going into convulsions and all that shit. I want to see that version of this.
Like if there is a demon in there, like he does not want to be there. Like I have to admit that. Like if I was a demon, I'd be like, fuck no, dude, I'm out, man. I'm going straight back to fucking hell.
This ain't the life I'm signing up for. No.
I came all the way up here just have some dude sit on my fucking face and shit on me. No.
I also want to see the version of The Exorcist where this guy is the Exorcist. He's like lighting farts on fire and blowing them up.
He's throwing up on her.
That's amazing, to be honest.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
I would have fact checked it, but they just had like the pictures of the dude just like squatting right on their face.
I mean, just wow.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
I mean, yeah, God, religious people are special. I mean, to be able to be like, you know, when he says he's healing, I'm like, I just imagine like one of these guys is like, has like fucking polio or something. It's like really fucked up. And he's like, okay, fart in my face.
I guess if you do like risk reward based on that, then I guess
Clears out the sinuses every time. Been eating nothing but beans and protein shakes.
It didn't work, Pastor. Well, you didn't pray hard enough. That's on you.
Come back again next Sunday.
gotta have more faith.
Try again.
Yeah.
This is a tough demon. We'll get it.
just a few more sessions.
Well, I got a dark story, and I believe it's out of India.
Oh, I know this story.
Vengeful monkeys slaughter hundreds of puppies in India.
Damn.
If you don't want to ruin your holiday seasons here, you may want to skip this story. Nope, we're doing it. Some of us might think that seeking cruel and unusual revenge is an exclusively human trait, but it turns out that animals are capable of brutal, vengeful rage as well. In India, a troop of monkeys has subjected a village's dog population to a full-blown war crime. Not only that, the murderous primates are targeting the most vulnerable dogs of all, the puppies. Over their month-long killing spree in the Bede district of central India, the monkeys have slaughtered hundreds of puppies. They've killed more than 250 juvenile dogs in areas surrounding the city of Majalgan. I'm sure I messed that up. The village of Lavul, some 6 miles from Majalgan, with a population of 5,000, seems to be the center of the monkeys' terror. According to local news channel News 18, there isn't a single dog left alive in the village. According to the villagers, the monkeys' actions began as perhaps justified retaliation. About a month ago, a group of dogs from Lavul attacked and killed a baby monkey. The grief-stricken monkey troop decided to bring the dogs to justice. However, they weren't about to settle on just an eye for an eye. It appears that the original group of monkeys has also enlisted others in their murderous rampage, and it's not enough for them to just quickly bludgeon the puppies to death. Oh no, they want these dogs to suffer. The locals report that the majority of the attacks has followed a similar cruel pattern. As soon as the monkeys spot a puppy, they will rush in to grab it. Then the monkeys will drag the helpless puppy along as they climb to some high place like the top of a tree or the roof of a building. Once there, they simply let go and allow gravity to finish the dirty deed. After they ran out of puppies, the monkeys moved on to any dogs they were able to pick up. Over the past months, they've practically depopulated Lavul of dogs. The Lavul villagers, of course, weren't just standing around while the monkeys enacted their ruthless canine side. First, the villagers tried to do things by the book and contacted the local wildlife officials. However, catching an enraged monkey is clearly something that's easier said than done. Despite their best efforts, the animal control authorities weren't able to catch a single monkey. Let down by the authorities, the circle of vengeance kept rolling along, and the villagers took matters into their own hands.
They started taking monkeys at the top of buildings and throwing them up.
How do you like that?
Unfortunately, they haven't fared much better. But the villagers' attempts to stop the monkeys only managed to fuel their fury. The primates began attacking the men trying to catch them. Now they're probably going to throw babies off.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
According to reports, several people have fallen from buildings or been otherwise injured while trying to subdue the monkeys. But that's not the worst of it. The monkeys were initially spurred to murder by the dogs attacking them. How do you think they reacted when humans began to do the same? Monkey see, monkey do. They have now started attacking human children. Jesus. The villagers say that monkeys have descended upon several children on their way to school. I mean, if I was a parent, I wouldn't let my kids go to school like unattended.
Yeah, I wouldn't let them out.
Although there haven't been any human casualties yet, the villagers are understandably really starting to panic. But is it really possible for animals to go on a genocidal rampage of vengeance? Or is there something else at play here? According to animal behavior experts, it's perfectly likely that the monkey's violence is fueled by nothing but good old vengeance. Vladimir Denates, an adjunct lecturer of zoology at Keene University, said animals are perfectly capable of revenge. Chimps do it, for example. Macaws do it too. Also, there are many documented cases of wounded animals chasing or ambushing their hunters in situations when it would be obviously more reasonable for those animals to run away or hide, Dinetz told Gizmodo. However, he added that animals don't feel any necessity to play fair with revenge. If the target of their fury is too strong for the vengeful animal to face head-on, they will instead attack a weaker associated party like its babies. The reason why exactly animals partake in vengeance is unclear, though. In humans, revenge is usually an irrational manifestation of our innate desire for justice, which is also observed in many other primates and has evolved to enable social cooperation. We always want to reward altruistic behavior in others and punish them for excessive selfishness, he explained. So yeah, I just thought that was crazy, man. That it'd be one thing if they just like killed the dog that did it or whatever, but the fact that they keep coming back and just like keep killing the puppies, I'm like, god damn.
Yeah. Monkeys and people are so similar.
I do think I've heard of like baboons
going to war, right?
well, like especially like attacking like lion cubs.
Oh.
And it seems to be specifically because, they're going to grow up and hunt them. So like it's like a protective posture.
Man, I mean, at this point, you kind of got to start breaking out some tranquilizers or something. You got to get these guys.
I mean, like urban monkeys, there's usually a lot of them, aren't there?
Yeah, there's a ton of them.
But
it's hard to catch them because they move all around the buildings and all the wires.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're just like, putting them down like in large numbers. I don't know.
Yeah, they might have to do something about that.
Yeah, I mean, it would ultimately be sad too if they just ended up killing all the monkeys.
But I mean, the dogs are already dead. It sounds like so.
Yeah, but they might attack human children too now.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I think I've told this story on the pod before. But like, on an old Joe Rogan I listened to, like he told this story of like there was this guy. I don't know if he was a zookeeper or what, but he went somewhere where there was these chimps and like. He gave one of them a birthday cake, and then they all like viciously murdered him because, like in their mind, they're like, "Well, that's not fair. You don't give one of us a birthday cake and not everybody." Like they say they have like this sense of like fairness about them, So they like viciously murdered this guy. It's like, so yeah, there's definitely something at play there.
Yeah, chimps are a little scary.
It'd be one thing if it was just like, one of them was killed by a dog, and so they thought it was just like a survival thing, like, oh, we better get rid of all the dogs. But it sounds more like a vengeful thing, like they're talking about. It sounds like, less of a survival thing, more of a vengeance thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, those two things, I feel like those two things are tied together. I mean, there's a reason we weed people out of our society. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they might be connected. I don't know.
I feel like it's a similar impetus. I don't know.
AJ, it's back to you.
All right. Here we go. This one's called Testicle Bath Birth Control Device Earns Germany's Dyson Prize.
I actually had a story about this too as well, but I'll let you go.
Okay. Officials with the James Dyson Award, which celebrates, encourages, and inspires the designers of new problem-solving ideas in a variety of countries, said Germany's 2021 award was given to Rebecca Weiss, an industrial design graduate from the University of Munich and inventor of the Coso male birth control device. The Coso uses an ultrasound testicle bath to temporarily stop sperm mobility. The device only needs to be used every few months to keep the sperm inert and prevents eggs from being fertilized during sex. As Germany's winner of the Dyson Award, Weiss was shortlisted for the International Award, which carries a $45,000 prize. The International Award ended up going to a National University of Singapore team who developed HOPES, a wearable biomedical device for at-home intraocular pressure testing. So yeah, that's the story.
Actually, that one's a little different than the one I found, but
So you take what is it? It vibrates your nutsack?
Yeah, it just vibrates them for a while. It's like, that's basically microwaving, right? Isn't that what microwaving is?
Well, how long does it take your body to make new sperm? It doesn't take that long.
This says months.
well, I think to
few
get to full capacity for most men, it's just like 1 month. At least that's what I thought.
Okay, I don't know.
This says the device needs to be used every few months to keep the sperm inert and prevent eggs from being fertilized.
Keeps them inert.
For 2 months? Huh.
It sounds more than just like shaking them up. Is it? Yeah. Are they not like blasting your nuts with radiation or something?
Like, this does not seem comfortable at all.
It's like we just heat the testicles to 400 degrees and
Well, actually, let me read the article I found because
Okay.
I'm thinking that actually sounded better than the way this article. But maybe the one I found is actually a little bit different. I don't know. New male contraceptives could shrink your nads with nanoparticles. There are plenty of contraceptive methods available for women, but men's options are woefully limited. You can either use condoms, which doesn't suit those allergic to latex, or get a vasectomy, which stops you from having babies for good. To remedy this situation, researchers are investigating all kinds of alternatives, like the warm water testicle bath we covered a few months ago. Now I'm wondering what that was. But now scientists are probing another method that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction. A study from July 2021 found that nano contraception could be worth pursuing as a human contraceptive. The method relies on nanoparticles, tiny pieces of metal that are only 1,000th of the width of a human hair in diameter. In theory, it could be possible to introduce nanoparticles into the body of a human male. Once inside, doctors could then use a magnet to guide the particles into the testicles. Once in the gonads, doctors would then carefully heat up the nanoparticles. Sperm viability plunges in high temperatures, so heating up your testicles could essentially neutralize your little swimmers. Nano contraception isn't exactly a new idea. It was first tested on animals back in 2013. At that time, biologist Faye Sun and his multidisciplinary team was researching nano contraceptive methods on mice. To test the procedure, they injected gold nanotubes directly into the mice's testicles. Yes, we know having gold injected into your balls doesn't sound very pleasant, but bear with us. Once the gold particles were in the mouse testicles, the researchers used infrared radiation to warm them up. As a result, the nanoparticles heated up to temperatures between 98 and 113 degrees Fahrenheit. But there was an unfortunate side effect to the treatment. The intense infrared radiation caused heat lesions on the mice's testicles. Oh. Having your balls burned would probably keep you from procreating, but that's really not what the scientists were going for. So they returned to the drawing board. Iron beats gold. In 2021, Sun's team released the results of their new and improved contraceptive methods. This time, instead of using gold tubes, they opted for particles made of iron oxide. Also, instead of injecting them straight into the nads, the scientists injected the particles into the mice's veins elsewhere. They then anesthetized the mice and used a magnet to pull the iron particles to the testicles. The iron injection and gathering procedure was repeated daily for 1 to 4 days, depending on the mouse. Then the researchers wrapped an electrical coil around the mice's balls and injected the iron nanotubes to a magnetic field. This heated up the tubes and effectively as the infrared radiation, but without causing burns. And sure enough, the mice's fertility plummeted. The good news about the nanoparticle treatment is that the contraceptive effect is not permanent. After about 2 months, the mice's fertility began to rise again, which indicates that they were on their way to a normal reproductive health. Using iron particles instead of gold also has an additional benefit. The gold particles stayed in the testicles permanently, whereas the animals' livers and spleens eventually removed the iron nanotubes from their bodies. As a result, Sun's team suggests that using iron over gold reduces the risk of long-term toxicity. Small ball treatment, however, there are some caveats to the nanoparticle and heat treatment. The first risk factor is excessive heating. Warming up your balls could be an undeniably effective contraceptive method. However, if you heat the testicles up too much, they can be irreversibly damaged. As a result, even the nanoparticles exited the body and the testicle temperature returned to normal. Sperm production would never recover. In essence, you'd be forever unable to father children. Speaking to the conversation, Sun also questioned whether human men would be willing to be put under anesthesia for several hours while doctors wrap electric coils around their balls. And then there's the fact that nanoparticle treatment physically shrinks your testicles. Although the testicles will regain their size with time, would men be comfortable living with shrunken nads? Finally, the procedure's toxicity on the human body hasn't been clarified yet. There's a lot of work to do before nano-contraception can be used on humans. Meanwhile, in some countries like China, zoos and pet owners are starting to use the technology to get a better idea of its effectiveness. Perhaps in the future, once all the kinks have been hammered out, we can rely on nanoparticles to prevent unwanted babies. In the meanwhile, though a good old condom is men's best option. Man, this sounds like an ordeal.
That sounds way worse than what mine said.
Yeah. In fact, maybe the warm testicle bath that they mentioned at the top, maybe that's actually what your thing was. Yeah. This sounds awful. Yeah. Man, and poor mice, man. They're experimented on with everything, and this sounded like terrible.
And this is in China? It looks like it was in China.
They mentioned China, yeah. Okay. Mice getting fucking heat marks on their balls.
Yeah, man. The German one uses ultrasound.
That sounds better. Yeah, that sounds better than
nothing gets put in the testicles.
Injecting metal into your balls with magnets and heating them up with a wire coil, and that just sounds like an ordeal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a prison experiment or something.
That sounds like something that would make men go like, I'll just wear the condom.
Yeah. Hey, did you guys hear about Drake recently? He hooked up with this Instagram model or something, and afterwards I think he tied up the condom, but also put hot sauce in it, so nobody could use it. And she came out screaming later, and he told her, "Oh yeah, I put hot sauce in there so you wouldn't use it." And she's suing him now.
The fuck?
Yeah.
The old hot sauce trick.
I guess maybe he's learned or something. I don't know. But man, women.
I guess I could see it happening.
There was a housekeeper recently who got pregnant 4 years ago, actually, because she took someone's condom out of their hotel room and used it on herself and got pregnant. So she gets money now for that.
Maybe he should have just flushed it down.
That's what I was thinking. Wouldn't it have been easy for him just to flush it?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess maybe he was like, if she does go for it, I want to see what happens.
I want to know what kind of lady this is.
Yeah, you got to sort out the crazies. You're like, now I know what level we're dealing with here. Oh,
I mean, she's crazier than he is for sure. I think in this situation.
That's a spicy meatball.
Well, yeah. Oh, you mentioned smaller testicles for that treatment.
Oh, yeah.
Now guys can cross their legs.
My cousin said he heard that Mountain Dew shrinks your testicles. I don't know if there's any other way to do that.
Fake news.
Every time I see guys who cross their legs, I'm always like, how are you doing that? Like they actually like cross their legs like a woman does, all the way over.
I can do it. Mine push up. Mine don't like hang down.
You can do that?
I can cross my legs.
I can't do it like a woman. No, I can't do that.
I don't know if I... Yeah, I can cross my legs.
Huh.
I mean, I maybe could do it. It wouldn't be comfortable.
Yeah, it would not
I've
be
always been like shocked about people who are like, "Oh, I sat on my nuts." I was like, "You gotta have some nuts down there."
yeah.
Well, maybe when we're older, they'll get saggy enough to.
Well, I'm like 40. I have these nice perky balls here.
You heard it here, folks.
It must be nice. You never know, though. Like, you could hit a certain age and that they just start going.
They start dropping on you. Puberty.
Because you know those like desk things where the balls just keep like clacking against you. You start getting the clackers.
Newtonian clacker balls.
They just keep going. Well, we are over the hour, but if any of you guys got a really good story you want to go out on, we could certainly do that.
I can peruse. There's some, but I don't know if anything dying to talk about. I kind of picked out some of the better ones already.
I mean, we did just end on a good ball conversation. So
Yeah.
we can go out on the balls.
Yeah, we don't want to drop the ball here. Let's keep it going.
All right. Well, if anybody's still listening, and I have my doubts, we do thank you very much. Make sure to follow us or subscribe both on the YouTube channel and on your podcast service of choice. Leave us comments, talk to us, leave 5-star reviews. That also helps us out. And go ahead and interact with us on Twitter, guys. Where can people find you?
A name for this too?
At Unsolicited SUG.
And you can find me at Zach Jones Live. That's ZachJonesLive. And that's going to do it for all of our shenanigans and poppycock this week. Please, please, please tune in again next week. Bye, guys.
Take care.
Have a good one.